Before there was the Phoenix, there was only Marvel Girl. Welcome to Origins. We go over the origins of your favorite superheroes and villains. We're in the midst of exploring the origins of the very first X-Men roster dating back to 1963, which is helpful because it will come in handy when we start bringing you the complete stories of the super popular all-new X-Men. So who are we talking about today? Well, it's none other than Marvel Girl, also commonly known as the First Lady of the X-Men, Jean Grey. At the tender young age of 10, Jean Grey faced an event so traumatizing that it awakened a power inside of her. While having a carefree childhood in upstate New York, she was playing frisbee near a street with her best friend Annie, and an accident took place that would forever change her. An oncoming car took Annie's life, and as it happened, Jean's telepathic power was ignited and she felt all of the emotions of Annie's death in her head, lingering inside of her and causing her to break down emotionally and forcing her to withdraw completely from people. Jean's parents, Professor John Grey and Elaine Grey, were left dumbstruck with how this accident deeply affected their youngest daughter. They went to many specialists and they were not able to help her recover, and it is then that they were referred to Professor Xavier, who specialized in these delicate cases. Professor X immediately recognized that Jean possessed powerful telepathic abilities as well as telekinetic powers that, if not handled carefully, could harm her and her family. So he soon began to work with young Jean, helping her cope with the tragedy while also training her to control her telepathy, which she could not control at the beginning. While there were initial successes with his methods, they soon learned that Jean could not control her abundant telepathic powers. So he came to a temporary solution that he would put a mental barrier on her telepathy until she came of age where she could learn to control and harness those powers. However, she was still a very talented telekinetic, and Xavier was concocting plans to put together a team of mutants that would act as a strike force to help the Homo sapiens and Homo superior alike. And he began a relationship with Jean where he would train her to control her telepathic powers, and he would eventually enroll her in his school for gifted youngsters. When the time was right, he would bring her into the fold and he would have her join his team, the X-Men, and she was the 5th member of the original team. When she first arrived at the X-Men, the other boys, Beast, Iceman, Angel, and Cyclops, were immediately smitten with her, beginning a competition amongst the X-Men as to who would woo her. That wouldn't go on for very long though, as they eventually all became great friends and teammates, and they were thrown into the fire to combat evil mutants, those who wished to do harm to the Homo sapiens. And this is how Jean Grey went from being a troubled young girl to becoming Marvel Girl, one of the most powerful mutants of all time. And eventually, she just went by the name Jean Grey, and then eventually Phoenix, and then a whole bunch of other stuff happened. So at this time, she was going by the name Marvel Girl, and her powers were just telekinetic powers and telepathy. She didn't gain all of those crazy other powers that she would gain eventually. And it's also important to note that this is a distinctly different Marvel Girl than the one that we see in the new book, All New X-Men, who is struggling with her newfound telepathy. And there you have it. This is the beginning for Jean Grey, and as we continue on our Marvel Mondays, we'll closely examine her reincarnations, where her powers were expanded upon greatly through various methods such as the Phoenix, which everyone knows about. What do you think of Marvel Girl? Let us know in the comments down below, and I hope you enjoyed this brief origin story. I'm Benny for Comicstorian, and if you want to chat about this video or any other, make sure you follow us on Twitter @Comicstorian or on Instagram @Comicstorian, and check out these other videos on the screen, you just might like them.